that night, yo, who's that? I could have been one with back, or could have been him who was acting bad. You might take this shit for granted, life too short, it's more than that.
Hey, put my phone on D&D, I'm too bob, more time I'm jogging. I got the UK top 10 fans of the rap, wanna know what I'm cooking.
Alright, so currently it is August 5th, and as most people know, August is where college applications open up, and especially for people in the US, this is where a lot of college applications open up. And every time I go ahead and try and meet someone new, whether it be from social circles, whether it be from online, or maybe going into a client call and they're asking, yo, what's your age, or oh, you're in high school, or have you thought about university, have you thought about college yet? And a lot of the time, and like, this got me thinking very, very interestingly, because I know from the beginning, from when I first started making money, that I didn't want to go to college. I didn't want to go to university. And the reason behind that is that simply I'm way too ambitious for me to go to college or university. You see, the thing is with university or college or whatever not, is that it limits you so much to, a certain path. And sure, there's a lot of people that go ahead and take that path and then succeed afterwards, but that's not everybody. You see, a lot of people just use this as a path that they can take, and it's safe. There's not too much risk, there's not too much ambition or lots of high goals involved, and so they just take that in order to make their life go ahead and not have too much thinking, not have too much risk. But just last night I was thinking, like, how safe is really the safe option? Because people tell you, like, oh, when you get a lot of money, invest a lot of it in the stock market. The stock market always has 10% yields every single year on year, whatever. Put in the S&P 500. But just last night, the Japanese stock market crashed 25%, and they basically halted the market, which basically means is that they stopped people from trading in the market because everybody was just selling off. And it's not just the stock market that's being affected. It's the US stock market, the British stock market, and cryptocurrencies. Everything is being affected, and everything is pointing towards that, hey, we might have another recession. And so that makes me wonder, well, okay, if you're a regular guy and you go ahead and invest 4 years of your life, maybe even more, and you're investing tens and tens of thousands of dollars into this education, which, by the way, this is coming from someone who invests a lot of his money into online education, invests a lot of his time and effort into reading books and listening to audiobooks, and constantly improving on my own self skills. But imagine you put all this time and effort into something that is supposedly considered safe, and then once you graduate, another recession happens, or the economy just crashes, and all of a sudden, this career that you wanted to build up, all of a sudden AI replaced you. And so, thinking about it, it turns out that this path of being ambitious, I don't know, I personally think it's way more safe than it comes to the traditional routes. If I look at it and say, like, tomorrow I lose everything, the personal brand, the business, I lose all my money, all my connections, and I lose everything, I would end up just working a regular job. It could be in sales, it could be in marketing, it could be in video editing, it could be in literally anything. And I would probably make a decent amount of income. And the reason behind that is because I've invested so much in myself, and I think anybody on this path, we both know, whoever is watching this video, we both know that you're gonna be fine. It's not the end of the world, right? Try that business, because the cost of you not trying this business, the cost of you being complacent and not actually trying it, well, it's gonna haunt you for a lifetime. And as much as it seems like in the moment that if you lose this risk, or if things go wrong, that you're gonna lose a lot of things, but what's the worst that can happen? Sure, you can lose a lot of money. Sure, a lot of people are, depending on you. I sure as hell know that feeling that, you can't mess up because you have bills to pay. You have all these things to pay. I sure as hell know that. But, always think that, if all this goes away, well, you could always just go back to either working a regular job, or, go back to school or whatever. It's never too late to go back to these things. And knowing myself and being this ambitious, I know that even if all this messes up and even if all this fails, I'm gonna still find a way to make my passion work. I'm still gonna find a way, I'm gonna learn a new skill, I'm gonna find something new that I will go ahead and put myself into that will generate me income, and I'll make sure that I'm set. And this is how you should think too. You shouldn't think that, oh, just because I have this specific skill and right now it's trending and popping, that it will stay like this forever. It's not gonna stay like this forever, and it's not meant to stay like this forever. 20 years ago, if you owned a newspaper company, you would be very successful because everybody's reading newspapers. But if you own a newspaper company today, you might look like an absolute geek because you don't know anything that you're doing. It's very outdated. And so you should constantly, continue to learn even after, you've reached a certain level of success. But it's that risk that, keeps you up at night. And listen, I'm going to be totally honest with you. I'm not going to make this video and pretend that, everything is fine. Because quite frankly, it's not. It's not always fine. It's not always, you have stuff figured out. It's not always that, for certain that this month, I'm not going to have any financial worries. Like 90% of my time as a business owner or as, someone who is taking this risk is spent on, am I going to be able to operate next month? Am I going to be able to continue doing this next month or not? And you know what? I'm lucky to still be able to live at home and, still have a little bit of a safety net. But I know that this safety net is not going to be around forever. And knowing that and then risking it where it's like, okay, well, I'm lucky today to have a safety net. But what if tomorrow or in a year or in 2 years, maybe I don't have that safety net anymore? What's going to happen? Am I still going to be able to function? Am I still going to be able to live? Am I going to be able to pay bills? It's this constant stress that, puts you in just a space. And like, listen, the only way that I've been able to cope with this is, just to talk about this. And, I might not have the circle of friends where I can talk about this, openly. And the best thing that I found to work for me is just to record videos on my phone. So I would just pick up my phone at night and, I wouldn't be able to sleep. And so I basically pick up my phone, start recording, and, I'll just talk. I'll just vent basically. And I'll put a clip right here just to show you an example. This was a couple of months ago when, I basically lost a significant amount of, money, clients, everything. And it was just like overall pretty bad period in my life. But I'm not gonna lie, right now it's like 1 a.m. I lost like 60% of my clients. Starting to go into a little bit of financial stress. Obviously I committed financially to things that, I thought I was okay for, but I just wasn't. But knowing that and going through that and then bouncing back again and, going through another high, this is what this whole thing is all about. Eventually you reach a level where it doesn't fluctuate as high and it doesn't fluctuate as low. But until you reach that level, you just have to get used to it. You just have to understand that this is what comes like with being ambitious. This is what comes with, seeing a vision that 90% of the population does not see and will not see. There's a reason why you have this vision, and there's a reason why 90% of the population doesn't have this vision, right? And so you need to focus and you need to do what the 90%, the 99% won't do, right? And this stuff, as much as it's very repeated on Instagram Reels and motivational things, genuinely listen to what I'm saying and try and apply it, right? If you talk to your average friend, go ahead on your phone right now, pick a random contact and message him and be like, hey man, I want to do this cool challenge with you. Let's both wake up at 5:30 tomorrow, right? And let's stay up and, let's go to the gym. Let's take a cold shower when we're back and, let's work on a business, right? Or let's see who can make $1,000 online the fastest, right? Just take this challenge for example, right? Chances are if you had 100 people on your contacts list, maybe one of them, if not anybody, right, would actually take you up on that offer, right? And you might not know 100 people, but you just have to understand, right? And so if you want extraordinary results, you're gonna have to do extraordinary work that the normal person is not ready and will not be ready to take said action. So I hope you guys, benefited from today's talk. And yeah, subscribe for more, and I'll see you tomorrow. Peace.